Good morning, my guests again. It's my pleasure again to give you a community update on the progress of the inner city communities. And as president of the organization Moving for Change, we have made significant progress towards helping all our brothers and sisters here in Nassau, Providence. And we're talking about direct involvement from major organizations. And I'd like to give thanks to the Rotary Club of East Nassau, to the president, and to all their members for doing a wonderful job of taking the time out to actually come down in Grandstand and making a big difference in the past 2 years. We had an event held on May 24, 2016, inside the community of Grandstand, the corners of Lewis Street, Hay Street, and Taylor Street. We had educational activities. It was called a Health Rock. It is similar to what Chrissy Love is preaching to our citizens about healthy lifestyle, healthy way of living. We're talking about smoothies. We're talking about fruits and vegetables that can actually bring down the cost of living, but also can give you a longer and healthier life where you don't have so much chronic illness. We're talking like cancer, diabetes, obesity, and stuff like that, that is not normal, not supposed to be normal for the regular Bahamian. We're supposed to be a healthy Caribbean people, like how the Arawak Indian was, like Christopher Columbus said. When he first saw them, they were the most beautiful person in the world based upon their diet. Okay? So we had a educational program here at Scrooge's Grill and Chill, organized by the Rotary Club of East Nassau, the Movement for Change organization, Violets Are Blue, Sheila Pritchett, it's called Bahamas 4-H group that came down here in the Grandstand area and did a wonderful job of teaching the kids about healthy way of living and eating. Also to the Rotaract, they were also present here, which is a part of the Rotary. It's the first step in getting to the Rotary. The Rotaract Club did a wonderful job of doing over 98 eye testing right here in Grandstand community. So they did wonders. They gave out glasses to the residents, check their eyes, tell them what their problem was, and if they couldn't deal with the matter, they referred them to a doctor, which would get to them shortly. But they gave them out enormous glasses, so I'd like to give a shout out to the Rotary Club of East Nassau and also to the Rotaract. And also to Ms. Sheila Pritchett. She has taken initiative to actually get more involved in the inner city communities. They were mostly branched off in the Life of Key area, but now by collaborating, they're down here in Grandstand, where it is also needed in the Life of Key area, but it's more needed down here in Grandstand. So we like to give a thank you to Ms. Sheila Pritchett, and also to our next organization, Lenahan Bahamas. And this organization is started up about 3 years ago. Started from Ms. Alexander Melis, turning me on to Lucas Metropolis, who is the president of Lenahan Bahamas, along with persons like Mr. Ed Dorset of East Street Gospel Chapel Church, George Melis, and myself. It's an initiative, and numerous Bahamians are involved in the redevelopment of the inner city community, and one of the purposes to create a community center. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Janetta Moscow, who was the event chairperson of the event that went down a few weeks ago. It's called Party with a Purpose at the John Watland Distillery. Proceeds to benefit the Lenahan Bahamas. So I'd like to also give a shout out to her again, Ms. Janetta Moscow, for being the event organizer and speaking for us as a community. She's the one who went out there and put the word out, and we got sponsors from all around the Greek community and the wider community. So we'd like to give thanks to her again. Now getting on to business. I'd just like to say to the schools, Aaron Bailey, C.C. Sweden, D.W. Davis, S.E. Mafesin, all those schools. Also to the Boys Industrial School, all public schools who would like for me, as a person who have experienced many of the countries ill in this country, to speak directly to your students about the issues that's concerning the nation right now, and that is violent crimes, which our girls are involved, our young teenagers are involved. So I'm asking you, and I think it's time now, it's just to ask for a little, because I think it can go very far. For a small fee, I'd like for you, reasonable, we could also negotiate, just give me a call. It's all for good cause, because I think it's very important that you understand that you need to have these one-on-one with these kids of a person who has experienced it. And here's why. Just recently, last week Thursday, I was invited to be a special guest at the Doris Johnson High School, which is the school recently here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, where we had a student was killed, and he was killed and stabbed by his fellow students. Just recently, about beginning of this year, I guess, and I was invited to speak to one class on the call of Miss Dr. Rita Pratt asking me to come to the school to accompany her to get the kids a one-on-one, because she said that the last time they had classes and the kids were saying, man, this is going to be a boring class, and these persons don't know how to talk to us, they don't know how to reach us, and she said that she felt that they needed a first-hand experience of someone who are being involved in gangs, who are being involved in the real street life. So automatically, I had no objection. I just get up and went, because it's my duty now, if I can talk to our young persons of the dangers, right? And the repercussions that is going to happen to you if you take this course in a life of crime, in a life of violence, So I went. So let me just give you a good example. I was sitting on to the door. Ms. Pratt gave a speech. I watched numerous kids walk in. Some shirt of their pants. Some you can see are very, very tough, probably going through a hard time. So I listened to some of them mumbling, this is going to be a next boring class. So Ms. Rita Pratt introduced herself to the class. She talked about the various crimes happen in the country. And then she said to the crowd that I brought someone who is just like you, who can relate to you just like you. And then she introduced me. And a strange thing happened. Once I was introduced, I started to explain to kids about my lifestyle and how I lived when I was a teenager, and how many of my peers who were my enemies all across the country, who were very serious young men, who are all now deceased, and I'm talking about hundreds of young men who I call all around the country, this country, who were just like me, and who are now dead, and who, if ain't dead, spending 25 to life in prison, and those who ain't spending 25 to life imprisonment are now walking around the street calling lampposts, has no future. What's the Bada said a guy in his early days, but now he's walking around. They're walking around now calling lampposts. In other words, they lost their mind because they wasted their life. All right? So a strange thing happened as I started to call some of the young men named who I fought against and who were killed, that a student in the school asked me a question after I finished talking, and he put up his hand. He said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know Marley?" I said, "Marley who?" I said, "No, Miss Marley." He said, the one who got killed in Pinewood Gardens a few years ago. So I said, yes. I said, yes, I know that Mali. So he said, how he was, what kind of personality he had. I said, first of all, he was just like me, and I called some of the guys who are now deceased, who were bad, just like me when we were growing up, and that's all around now. So it wasn't just me as a bad boy. There were other hundreds of guys who were just like me. Some were seriouser than some, but all also bad boys. None that matter. And I explained to him his father was just like, I explained to him that he was just like us. So as I continued to talk, I saw he got a little down, so I said, by instinct I asked him, say, what Mali was to you? And he looked at me with his head down, and then he raised up his head. He said, raise up your head. And he said that was his father. You know, when he said it was his father, it like sent chills down my spine. All right? So when he said that, I said this to him. His classmates, they got quiet, and all of them started to look at him, you know, like all attention was to him now. And I said to him, first of all, young man, I don't want to say nothing to hurt you or to say nothing disrespectful towards your father, but I'm going to be as cold as I can be to you and be as real to you as I can be and explain it the best way I can explain it to you, all right? I said, your father was a murderer. Your father was involved with a few murders all around the country. And I said that to him. All right? And I said, the guy that killed your father, okay, we were locked up in CDU, and the guy who killed your father was actually his best friend, and his name is Tyson. And he killed your father, right? And he said, he know Tyson killed his father. And I said, did you know that someone killed Tyson? So you understanding me, Bahamas? You understanding me, feeling me? This is first-hand experience. I'm not encouraging none of these kids. I'm trying to devoid them, get in their minds, and devoid them and show them the mistakes they're going to make. Like this young man now. All right? And here's what happened. When I told him that Tyson got killed, I asked the whole classroom, what is the moral of the story? And I pointed. All right? And here's the moral of the story. They said, if you kill somebody, you will be killed also. And I said, three of them were bad guys, were bad boys. I mean, two of them were bad boys. The one who killed Tyson probably still living, or probably he is dead. But two of them were bad boys, and both of them are dead now. And the kids didn't understand that. They got quiet. Some started to shake their hands. And they started asking me all kinds of questions. And here's another question they asked me. They asked me, say, since you're talking so much, right? Say, what you do? So I say, all right, I could be real with y'all, all right? I can't come in the school and lie to you. I say the truth, it sets you free. So I said, this is what I did. I say, as one of the gang leaders in my community, the Grandstand area, the Border Boys, I said one time ago, one of my friends came to me, and he came to my house, and some guys just bothered him. The guys never bothered me, they bothered him. So he came to me for my help. So I got together, rallied up some guys, and we went looking for these guys. And I said, when we went looking for these guys, we caught up with these guys, and I ended up starting an altercation with these guys who ain't do me nothing. They never did me nothing, but through my friend come to me and ask me for help, I go on board with guys who ain't do me nothing, all right? These guys ain't do me nothing, but they had a problem. My friend came to me for help. So I went out and we attacked these guys. We stabbed one of these guys, and one of my friends shot one of these guys. And they scattered, all right? I say, and then about 2 days ago, 2 days later, we were through Wilson Street. After the incident, we were through Wilson Street, and we saw these three guys like coming around the corner, peeping at us, you know, peeping their head out. And they said, they fired about 2 shots at us, but we just dived on the side, you know, and paid no mind because, you know, we kind of used to this stuff, you know what I mean? When they fired 2 shots at us, we scattered. And then there were 5 more shot boys, right? And some of the bullets grazed me, grazed my friend now, Ronald Bummer Pratt, he's now deceased. His brother, Don Pratt, is also now deceased. We're on the scene. The only person still is living is Gino. Gino is still living. Although us who were there who got shot at, only Gino still is living. All right, 3 cousins, and his name was Gino Pratt. He's still living today. But Ronald Bummer Pratt and Don Pratt, both of them are deceased. All right, and the bullets went straight past us. And now we returning fire. My friend had a 9mm. He returning fire, and the guys some scattered. Now on our way back, we was laughing, didn't take it serious because, you know, we accustomed to this. We thought we were big and bad and nothing could happen to us, and we were the hardest thing in boots and, you know, picking trouble with anybody. And, you know, so anyway, we walked about 4 or 5 steps. We saw someone laying down on the ground. So we thought like they were like sleeping or playing clown and run. But unfortunately for us, there was no clown around. Now, a guy who was not involved in our activity, all right? He didn't gang none of these guys who we gang in Mason Addition that day. He didn't bother nobody. He just was an innocent bystander hanging with us. And because of my stupid decision, mine and my friend, I'm picking trouble with someone who ain't do me nothing, also people who ain't do me nothing, I brought that upon my friend. Because if I didn't go and gathered a group of guys and instructed them and lead them to gang these guys, then my friend still would have been living today. And I asked him what's the moral of the story and who caused it all. And it reflects back to me. It's not the shooters who shot the gun at us is responsible. It's me who made that bad choice by getting out of my house, by gathering a group of guys, going to bother people who ain't never bothered me. And because I bother people who ain't bothered with me, these persons now have a problem with me, and they came back to get me. And instead of they getting me, God let me live. My friend got killed. So these kind of things I could bring to your schools, tell you how you're not going to benefit if you live a life of crime. What goes around comes around, just like what happened just like what what Tyson did to Mali. Eh? We saw Tyson got what he did to Mali. So it's all this, what goes around comes around. So I'm appealing to the general public and corporation that for a small fee, I'll be willing to talk to your kids one-on-one, talk to the school, do what it takes to make a difference. Because they need to hear it from someone who has been there and done that. But most importantly, I can reflect on how my life has taken a different course now, how I'm leading the charge in community development in the inner city community, how I'm a journalist now at Guardian Radio 96.9, how now I'm getting people like Jeff Lloyd to have a heart to now say to Bahamians to take an initiative to help our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas, in the communities of Granson, Bainton, Fox Hill, Elizabeth Estate, Mason Addition, okay? So now they are also getting themselves involved. So these are the things that I'm doing as a young man, along with a team of persons right now who are not a government, but are persons who are concerned about their country and their community, and see if we don't take the initiative to make it better, then we all lose. And we lose this beautiful, beautiful country that God has blessed us with all the natural resources in the world for all of us to be prosperous in this country. All right? So, again, to the schools, again, the parents who have a problem child, problem daughter, I can relate to them because I've been there and done that. And I know they will listen to me because time as I finish with them, they will listen to me. Because those who didn't listen to me when I gave them my advice, Samuel Mushi McKenzie wouldn't listen to me. My boy, Ronald Boma Pratt, he wouldn't listen to me. My good last friend, Shadi, who just got killed about 4 or 5 months ago, he didn't want to listen. So you see what happened to him? My friend, when I told him to do not kill his brother, and he went and killed his brother. Now he is calling lampposts on the streets of New Providence, looking like the lampposts could do anything for him. So I know they can listen when I give them these examples. So my friend Hugo, who's doing this video now, is gonna leave my name and number. You know, I'm a poor young man, but I have given enough to this country, more than the Prime Minister, all right, to bring awareness for the persons, the kids, the grandmothers, the teenagers, the person that light us off, the person that is in prison, the person that don't have hospital beds in the hospital, you know, the kids that go to school hungry. I speak for those persons. So I'm now asking you to consider what I'm saying and give me a call. And we could always negotiate. And I guarantee you, when I finish with those kids, they'll have a different mindset. And I think they will be very productive citizens. So I'd like just to say to all the persons that see this video, take this very serious what I'm saying. You need a person like me to come in and counsel and talk to the students, talk to your kid, because you don't sense a pastor or police officers talking to these kids. They can't relate, but they relate to someone who's been there and done that. So I'll see you next time on Movement for Change Update.